Hello, and welcome to the Darby Creek Diaries. I'm Gail Thompson, and I'm so happy that you're joining me today. It's a the day before Christmas, and I wanted to get this last project in. I had a little technical difficulty, but I'm so glad you're here, and let's get started. I have the Sizzix Vault Festive Wreath die, and I decided to make an ornament out of it instead of a card. I kind of wing things. And the quickest way I thought to get this done, rather than doing a whole bunch of little tiny die cuts in different colors, was to just cut everything out of white and go ahead and color them myself. And I'm using distress inks mainly. The cubes just seemed easier to grab at the time, and I have a little more variety in those. And I'm using a sticky mat that I found out that when they're brand new, they aren't quite as sticky. But I didn't know that, and I kept trying to push it down. I guess the more you use them, the stickier they get. But we work with this for a little bit, and then I change it up. I'm just going to get a, just the color laid down. As you can tell, I'm not using a lot of rhyme or reason, just trying to get I wanted my wreath. I know that it probably should have been brown, but I wanted it green, so hey, artistic license, green it is. And the one thing I did find out is that those little cubes stick great to the sticky mat there. That was really cool. It didn't slide all over the place. Hey, and if you could do me a favor, I'm nearing 3,000 subscribers and it doesn't cost a thing or take time and you don't sign up for anything. If you'd be so kind to subscribe, I'd love to have you. I plan on having a lot of fun things in the next year. Now I'm putting on kind of my last layer there of green on the outside of the wreath. We're not going to do every single thing because I don't want to keep you for hours on end. So I'm just going to kind of hit the highlights here for you. I wanted to get some different shades of darker, lighter, little bit of blue tint, little bit of yellow tint, just kind of blending it off. So let's see what we're going to do next. It's been a while since I've done this, so I have to recall. I do spritz it with water because, I feel like whenever I use distress ink, I have to spritz it with water. I think it's like a law or something, and then dab it up to give it kind of a mottled appearance. And now I'm going to straight to my stamp and stencil mat, and it's sticky. But then I make another boo-boo. I show everything. I don't edit this and make it sound like everything's perfect. So I get the color on the second layer, and then I think to myself, oh, this isn't cleaning up quite as good as the other mat. So you're going to see that in a second. I hope all is well with you and that if you are celebrating Christmas, that you have a very happy one. Or if you celebrate Hanukkah or Kwanzaa, have a happy one of those as well. Here is where I start to make the mess on my mat. And I thought, "Oh, I can clean that off." Well, guess what? I decided to splatter that too. It's been a week or so, so I am kind of playing this by ear. So when I get the get the little wreath off, these are a little damp, and they're very, very finicky. I wipe it off with water and it doesn't really work. So then I took, and this was really dumb, a little tiny bit of alcohol, uh, the gel, hand sanitizer, and look what I did. Bad girl, very bad girl. It took that off. I'm pointing to it. And so my mat stained, but you know what? It's stained. It is what it is. Uh, Craft supplies are meant to be used and it'll just be well loved. I used to get upset about that, but I don't anymore. Now I'm bringing in the red and we're going to work on the poinsettias for a moment and some berries. I have this sped up to within I didn't want it to be a flying hands. It's sort of flying hands, but it's not quite. I'm using some different colors of reds, and I'm going to peel these off. And I'm trying to be really careful not to dig into my mat. You don't want to do that. And like I said, these are fiddly little tiny things for this wreath. But at the end of the day, it is totally worth it. I love the end result. So I just wipe off the worst of it. Still trying to show you don't make a mess there. I think I might be able to put a little bit of something sticky on there, but I'm not sure. I haven't gotten around to it. Let's put it that way. Now I'm going to do the greenery real quick. Don't want to bore you with a whole lot of that because it's all the same procedure. So I'm switching up the colors a little bit because I want a little bit of variation. And now I'm spritzing them all like I did with the others, just because the stuff is really kind of tiny and I'm not sure it made a huge effect, but it made me feel better. And hey, isn't that what this is? I was going to use this woodland background and make a card, but then I decided, hey, I have real wood slices. You can get these at any big box store. And I decided that I would just try to make an ornament out of this. And I was going to figure out how on the fly. So I'm going to put in the hanger first. Just any ribbon will do. Because I knew I'm going to be laying the wreath over the top of it. So it was best to get that down first and just tie a little knot and be done with it. I am not a pretty bow tire. I wish I were, but I'm not. And so I just decided to just tie it like that and be done for now. Now, we're going to start laying everything on and deciding where everything goes. And I thought, the wreath's a little wonky and so is that wood slice. So that matched up pretty good by cracky, I think. Now we're going to start gluing things down. I had already glued the wreath pieces together, the green, because it made it easier for me to handle. And I've got my glue press out and it makes little tiny little places of glue so you don't have a bunch of oozing. You still have a little bit of oozing, but this glue dries matte and clear. And it's the Nuvo glue that they use in it. So I'm tucking in, and glue gives you wiggle room. There's just really, I use it most of the time. And then I'm just kind of going to stuff in some candles and glue as I go, which probably isn't the smartest thing because then if you want to tuck something under, it's a little harder. But I wind up getting something laid out and then I even take a picture of it, but I never can get it just right again. So, no, do what works for you. As Tim Holtz says, you do you. I'm trying to poke a little more glue in there, and I also am wiping off a little bit of the excess. And now I'm just going to stick the greenery in. And there's no rhyme or reason to this. I've got holly greenery in there and evergreen greenery. It's just whatever I thought would fit because I did want you to see a little bit of the wood slice when it was done. Now we're just going to put a few berries there, some random berries just to add. I'm trying to keep a color triangle going, and you'll see that in a minute. These little berries, boy, I'm telling you, they are fiddly. And those little dots in the middle actually have little dots I could have colored differently. And I doubled up the bow because I just thought it needed to be a little fuller. So I doubled that up and I'm gonna just lay it off a little to the side. I know people normally put their bows at the bottom, but who said I was normal? And now I'm going to fill in with the greenery. Lots and lots of greenery to fill in. And I'm not going to bore you with all the fiddlins, so the magic of television or video. I will just show you how I placed it, and we will do the final gluing here. And the poinsettias I just piled up, and that one poinsettia doesn't even have the same center. It was just a scrap piece I had. So there we go. We're going to fiddle with this for a few minutes, and then we'll just add those poinsettias and finish off putting our bow down. Did you guys get out a lot of Christmas cards this year? I feel kind of guilty. I sent some that were not handmade. I'm ashamed, but I did send a handful that were handmade. I just don't know what happened this year, but I am going to try to do better because it is fun to, make things that from the heart and send it to people, to especially to people that appreciate it. So we're going to put this cute little orange slice on. And once I get it picked up, there we go. I kind of followed the package a little bit on this. Took some creative license, and now I decided I was going to add a little glimmer to parts of the flower. This is my shimmer, Nouveau Shimmer, Aqua Shimmer, and I added it to the candle flame. I didn't add it to everything, just things I thought might pop a little bit. And then I got out the red Spritz, the Distress Spritz, and I'm just dabbing a little bit. It does not put color on your things, but it will add the the glittery part. Isn't really glitter, but it's the mica or whatever. It adds just that red, but the liquid it's in is clear. So it gives the everything a little sparkle, but not overkill. And there is our ornament. I hope that you enjoyed this and that you'll come back and see me, like, subscribe, share with your friends, and over on all the social things I will be posting. And I hope to come back very soon with a video. I wish you the happiest of holidays, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.